Hello everyone, it's Earthrise here and welcome to another video. And hasn't the world gone a bit mad since we spoke last? It's been a couple of weeks since I did a video and all this corona stuff has kicked off. I'm now working from home because my asthma makes me a higher risk person. And yeah, it's going to be a really odd time. 12 weeks essentially stuck in these four walls. It's going to be really, really bizarre. Yeah. Very, very odd. But when I have got a bit of spare time, when I'm not working and looking after the child, I'm going to get some reviews out. I'm going to try and look at the positives on all this and try and keep myself busy. And I'm going to start off today with an Earthrise figure I picked up a good couple of weeks ago now, but one I really wanted to do a review for you of, and it is Grapple. Before we get into the figure itself, and I'll pop in there so you can see him, let's have a look at his packaging, because I can then throw it in the bin and get some space. So here's his packaging here. You've got Transformers down here, Earthrise. I do like these new boxes. Some gorgeous artwork there of Grapple with his claw hand. The Earthrise kind of mugshot of all the characters who are in there. And on the back you've got some pictures of Grapple and of course the really, really robust sound barrier, who absolutely does not break on you. You get your instructions. Don't really need them, to be honest. So you get that, which I'm going to keep just in case I run out of toilet paper. And you also get this, which is the inside of the box, and you get a little red text spec. Now I thought I'd actually taken this one off, but maybe I haven't. And I'm not going to keep these. They are quite cool, but yeah, I'm not going to keep them. So let's see if I can find with the text spec the name of the planet. Here around here somewhere. Oh wait, of course. There's not one on these ones. Yeah, so Hasbro basically give you this gimmick where you've got a text spec reader like we got in the G1 figures, and you basically put it over here and you locate a name of a planet. But on the Grapple and Starscream's box, there isn't a planet, so it's completely useless, which is nice. That's really good of them. So enough about the packaging and the paper that we don't really, really care about. Let's have a look at Grapple himself. So here's the figure himself, and you can see he's a lovely, lovely figure. Head sculpt, really nicely done. I'll try and zoom on it for you. Now you can see here perfectly, there is no light piping on this thing. And you can see where the blue eyes are painted, but the orange plastic shows through. So you can actually, like, it's like his eyes are glowing orange, which actually makes him look a little bit evil, to be honest with you, but I think it works. His head can rotate here. His arms can rotate there and bend at the elbow and swivel at the bicep. There is no wrist swivel at all. There's no crunch. There is a waist swivel. Legs can go forward that far and out that far for the complete full Monty. We have a bend at the knee, goes about 90 degrees, and we have a pivot, no up and a little bit down. A lot down actually due to transformation. He's a really, really cool looking figure. You'll notice that his one hand here is a stump. You can fold his arm out like so he can be double handed, but I think that looks really odd to me because Grapple always, and Inferno always has one one non-hand, one accessory hand. Now, in his normal hand, you can put his weapon, his blaster, which is quite nicely done, as you can see. But he also has another couple of accessories. He has his claw here, which can peg into the hand there. You can have that look going on, if you so wish. Or you can take his more traditional look, this little part, which is stored on the crane. And you can have that look going on, and I think that is the best look for this figure, to be honest with you. This part here will clip on to this section here via this little clip. you can pop it in there. It doesn't go quite flush and flat when you do it afterwards, but it is a storage option if you basically just want the that hand on. So it doesn't go flat, but you can store that there, and you can also store this on the back with that peg. And it's a cool little figure. I really like him. I think Earthrise has been really good so far. Although the QC, the paint on it, every figure I've had has had an issue with that. This one here has a slight smudge down the Autobot logo, but it's nothing to write home about as such. Okay, now there is another QC issue with this guy, and it's one I preempted because my Optimus Prime was bloody awful, the first one I had. It's with these pegs here. Now these pegs tab into these holes here for transformation, but they're very, very tight. So what I actually did is got a bit of sandpaper and I sanded these down, and now they're at no risk of breaking. But I know a lot of people's have, and I really recommend you doing that. Just a bit of fine sandpaper. Take a little bit off. It's hardly noticeable, to be honest with you, when you have done it. It doesn't look too rough or anything like that, but it's absolutely worth it. Now, there's one thing I really like about this figure, and it's a transformation. And why do you like the transformation, I hear you say, Rich? Well, I like the transformation, which I'm doing now, because it reminds me of the G1 toy. It reminds me of an older figure. And when I get round to talking about Starscream and comparing it to the Siege figure, you have permission to call me a complete and total hypocrite, because I'm going to criticise the transformation on that for feeling old. But I'm saying here that I actually like this transformation because it reminds me of the G1. And what I put that down to is that I've got a lot of nostalgic feelings about this particular figure, this particular transformation, because I had a lot of mail-aways of Inferno, and I had a couple of grapples from the car boot sales and all that kind of stuff. And the transformation really does remind me of my childhood. Whereas the Starscream figure, which I know I haven't reviewed yet, that reminds me a lot of the classics, which doesn't really remind me of childhood memories. It just reminds me of getting, well, just buying a Transformer as an adult, really. But here is Grapple in his crane mode. Transformation, as I say, very, very reminiscent of G1. You will notice that there is a lot of rivets instead of screws, which some people might find disappointing, because they won't be able to do customization so easily. You have some ports here and some ports here. You have a port at the end there. You also have some here on the sides. You can see here where the paint hasn't quite covered. And they've made another odd choice about the wheels. This front wheel here is different to the back wheels there, similar to Optimus Prime. Don't know why they've done that, but they have. So you have some options here. On this front section here, you can just have the crane, or you can plug in that like so. And if you don't want that, that's fine, because there's a little port here where you can clip him on, and that's where it comes in when it's packaged in the box. I believe you can. You could have this kind of look going on potentially if you wanted to. Don't know why you would, but you could. Or you can fold that all the way in, and you can have this look going on. And I think that's a really good look for Grapple. I think that works quite well. And I actually like the fact that this gun here, because there's ports on the sides, you can store him away at the back, and it doesn't look too unsightly. Robot mode storage of these weapons is normally just a port on top, but actually this actually fits into the Alt mode, and I think it looks really, really cool. I really, really like it. Now you can get him to hold characters like Sound Barrier. Now this is the replacement I had from In-Demand Toys. You can put that on there like so, and you can have that look going on if you really want to. Not many blast effects ports on the actual figure as a whole, but there's enough ports for you to, well, port away anything you want really, and you can add some blast effects onto the weapons. So, he's a nice figure, he's a good one, he's Grapple. He was one I was really looking forward to, just like Hoist. And I'm excited to have him, and he was fun to just transform, to be honest. I haven't transformed him in a week or so, and that was real fun. This does extend, by the way, so you can have that going on if you want to. And this does move all the way around and up and down and everything like that. And this is what I was talking about earlier. So this is where the ports, these are really tight, so make sure you shave off a bit of that. But anyway, here is Grapple. Another stunning Earthrise figure. Another figure that probably rivals the Masterpiece. I don't own Masterpiece Grapple. I did want it. I don't so much now because I've kind of made the decision that the mainline figures are good enough for me. I don't need the Masterpieces as such anymore. Unless it's one or two that I actually want to finish a movie collection with, like Cup or Blur or that kind of stuff. So yeah, this has been Earthrise Grapple. A lovely figure and a great price point with loads of payability and loads of accessories. And I think he's in stock in Smith's. I recommend you picking him up. Anyway, until next time, I've been Zort Rider. Make sure you look after yourself. Make sure you do what everyone's been told to do. No matter where you are in whatever country, keep your distance from people. Don't go places that you don't need to go. Wash your hands. And just be safe. Until next time, I'll be Zort Rider and I'll catch you again soon.